And we're live with another SEO career mastery. We have Chloe Bootham, the Business Development Director of Embryo. How are you today, Chloe?
I'm really good, thank you, guys. How are you?
Brilliant.
We're good.
Brilliant. Happy Friday.
Brilliant is right. Yeah, it's Friday. Everyone's happy.
I know.
But yeah, we'll just get us started with a simple question. So how did you get into what you're doing? What's your background? How did you find yourself in this position?
So I've been in the industry now for probably about 10 years. So I fell into digital when I was really, really young. And I worked in the typical world of recruitment. So I specialised in digital for quite a few years. And then I just sort of grew from there, really. I found my niche, found what I was good at, found what industries I really enjoyed working in. And then, yeah, now I am in the crazy world of digital marketing, which I love.
And you started up.
Oh, sorry, go on there.
Go ahead, Darth. No, go on ahead, Darth.
No, I was just saying, obviously, you've worked your way up to sort of business development director. How was that path? Was there many hurdles? Anything you sort of had to overcome along the way?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've had my fair shares of no's in the world, which I think is always I'm quite a positive and persistent and motivated person to know that you could probably get 99 no's, but you always just need that one yes. So I think I've always been quite driven to just constantly say no. If somebody says no, I'm going to come back and make sure I'm going to get a yes. So I think going through my career over the past few years, I think I've just sort of grown from strength to strength and just worked for some incredible companies along the way. And I feel really grateful to be a part of the growth of Embryo now, which is really exciting. But yeah, just dedication, bit of persistence, and it'll work, promise.
And congratulations on the new role as well. Forgot to mention that at the start. So you've been in for around a month now, is it? A few weeks or a month?
Literally, I'm on week 2 of joining the team.
Week 2.
Yeah. So it's been a very exciting 2 weeks. But new. We all love new.
Everyone loves new, yeah.
Chloe, how is sort of Embryo's process of sort of onboarding? Is there anything special that they do to make, obviously you're saying you're enjoying it so much already. Is there anything special that they do to make that process as sort of smooth as possible?
Yeah, I think one thing that I've noticed and I've realised with Embryo is, as much as Embryo are an incredible agency and they work with some really cool clients and they've got a great team, that we are massively invested into our client services team. So over the years we've grown from sort of I'm going to say we, because I wish I'd been a part of it from the beginning, but I haven't. So I think from the get-go, the client services team now has doubled in the last 12 months. So that is literally just the point of call for all of our clients. And they are an incredible group of people. The rest of the team are good, but client services are super special.
And obviously, Chloe, you're known for your daily routine. So not just outside of work, but your entire day as a business development director, before and after, what does Chloe Bootham's daily routine look like?
So Chloe Bootham's daily routine. So I wake up at 3:45 every morning, without a doubt. I'm in the gym for probably around 4:30. I get to the gym for then, and then I probably do about an hour and a half session. Probably always have my breakfast at the gym because it's become quite a routine now and a ritual to have my porridge or my protein shake or whatever it may be that day. I walk the dogs. So I have 2 dogs. My parents have got 2 dogs. So we have Hugo and Ivy. So we walk them for about 5:30, for about 45 minutes, and then probably have another shower, which people just didn't really like when it decided to go viral for whatever reason. So I'll probably have another shower. So then I have another shower, and then I get ready for the day. And I'm usually in the car and on the way to the office for about 8 o'clock.
And then
how has that affected sort of productivity for you?
I can tell if I haven't been to the gym. So say even on rest days, because obviously rest is really, really important in recovery for sort of my progress at the gym. But even on the days where I sort of do an active walk or I'll still go up at the same time, I can tell if I've not been to the gym or not. I just don't have the same endorphins in my body that I would do on the day that I usually train. And I don't feel, I'm quite a positive and happy person, but I can definitely feel it within myself. And I feel like I'm more tired on the days that I don't train my hardest to the days where I do. I don't have that crash period at 3 o'clock like many others do.
Yeah, I still have that, and I get up at 8:30. So.
Yeah, I've never had it.
a big question for me would be, how do you keep yourself motivated to obviously do all that in the morning and then go into work as a business development director and stay motivated throughout the day with half a cup of coffee?
I just do every day, because I think I've become, at first it did feel like a little bit of a chore, and it was only because I changed coach. So where I train at the gym is a gym called Hybrid Performance Centre. They're based in West Orton. So when people say, whoa, is anyone even awake at 4:30 in the morning? Hybrid Performance Centre is rammed at 4:30 in the morning. I can't tell you how many people are training at the same time as us. So we've called it well, it's quite cheesy, but we call it the Dawn Patrol Club now. So quite a lot of people are like, what's Dawn Patrol and what do you do at 4:30 in the morning? So I think because there's so many of us and we just motivate each other, and there are days where some people do feel a little bit tired and think, oh, you know what, I'm going to stay in bed today. They are the days where I train the hardest, because I think, no, you're getting up and you're going to go and get it done. And I always get it done and I always feel great for it. And then there's nothing more amazing than feeling good about yourself mentally, physically, and like personally, and then going into the office thinking, right, we're going to smash the day today. Let's go, team. So I think, because I've always had that mindset and mentality, it's just something that I can't change about myself.
I don't know if you're going to change that mentality.
I was going to say, yeah. Do you think having that sort of mentality has sort of helped you? You've obviously grown quite quickly in your career, right up to sort of director level. Do you think that having that mentality has been the key to success there?
Yeah, 100%. I think if you work hard, I can't even say I play harder, because my playing harder is just probably lifting heavier weights at the gym. So I can't even use that as sort of like an example. But I think because if you do work really, really hard and you put the hours in, and I probably won't say this, but probably might cause an uproar, but there is 24 hours in the day, and how you use those 24 hours is completely up to you. Now, I won't go off the back of what Molly May said, even though I think she's an incredible person. She's right in saying there is 24 hours in the day, and how you make use of those is how successful you'll be in your personal life, professional life, in every aspect. I would say I make use of those hours.
Brilliant. And then moving back, obviously you mentioned you've recently started with Embryo. Congratulations again. But when you started with them, was there a reason for the move? Was there a particular point why Embryo stood out? Did they have sort of goals and ambitions, obviously, like you mentioned before, with your whole routine that sort of matched into that?
Yeah, I think the route that Embryo now are growing down, even like they've been around now since 2015. So the directors there and the owners and the founders of the business, they've grown so much over the years. And the digital industry is such a small industry. Everyone knows everybody. Everybody knows who's working on what accounts. And I think I've always known how incredible Embryo are. I've been at awards where they've won awards for quite a lot of the campaigns and things like that. And I think just watching them from the outside, you can't help but sit there and think, wow, I want to be a part of that. Like, and that's just a really exciting, like, nice, happy feeling. And I've known of Ross and the team and Paul and everybody else. And I think I've known them for quite a while. And we've had a few exchange of messages going, Chloe, are you looking for another job? And I'm like, no, not yet. So I think their persistence definitely paid off in that aspect. But I think it was a move in my career that was definitely the most it was the right way for me to go. And I know I needed a new challenge, and I think that was the exciting part.
Perfect. And what are the sort of plans? Obviously, don't want to go into too much detail if it's sort of confidential, but do you have like a set goals or plans for the next sort of year to 18 months?
Yeah, so obviously Embryo are wanting to continue to keep growing. We're wanting to continue to keep growing out the team, like client services across the board, from Paige, from the SEO team, from PR, social media, etc. So I think for us, it's just growth. We are a part of a really exciting journey. And as I say, even from client services, we've doubled the team in like the last 12 months. And I think it's just sort of, at the way we are as a business, we just want to create so many different solutions for the industry, because there can be a bit of a negative sort of thing within digital marketing, and then things have happened in the past with other agencies and things haven't worked out with clients. I think we just want to change the game and show we are an incredible business, and that's why our clients have stayed with us for such a long time. But client retention is probably our biggest thing, and that's the way we want to continue to keep growing.
Perfect. And just to follow up, I know Jay has a few questions, but it's good to hear that you sort of continue to grow, because I know at the minute a lot of companies are maybe putting hiring on hold. Do you think that's going to give you maybe a competitive advantage when the market does start booming again towards the end of the year? Or how you find the market at the minute? Is it still crazy for you guys, or is it starting to slow down a bit?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's one thing that gets asked quite a lot. I think because we are the way we work as an agency, we basically become like an extension of your existing team. So we get it so much where no, we've got an internal team, but we don't want your internal job. We want to just be an extension of your marketing team, want to help, want you to grow. And if anything, we're just going to make the marketing director's life 10 times easier when it comes to sort of showing the results at the end of the month and at the end of the year. So I think for myself, I've worked with many companies, sort of small, medium and large, really big outfits, and we've always worked really well with them, and we are just an extension of their team. So I think no matter how bad the industry may be, or no matter what the market currently is, I think there's always going to be room and there's always going to be that need for marketing. Everything's going online still, everyone's going digital. The world is now changing. Like, I online shop 24/7, which is not good for my bank account, especially now that we've moved house. But yeah, I think just the way the market is now, I think Embryo will most definitely continue to keep growing in the way that we want it to, and our clients will just continue to grow along the way as well.
Excellent.
Perfect. And you were touching on previously there about the goals and how important goals are, and I suppose it goes for inside and outside of work. Goals are important. What way, as a leader, especially in your new role, what way would you go about goal setting? Do you just write down goals, or how just goal setting overall? If you'd like to explain to the listeners.
Do you know what? It's really nice thing you've just asked that. So Embryo actually started something at the start of the year, and it was called Embryo's Great Goals of Experiment. Embryo's Great Goals of Experiment is called. So what they did is we've all got a sheet, and every single one of us within the company has to set 3 goals for that quarter, and everyone has to be really accountable because we can all see what everybody else has set. So I think Embryo started that to sort of give everybody something to sort of drive for and sort of achieve. And it could be something personal. It could be like going for a walk every day, or reading a book, or going to the gym, or no matter what it may be. But yeah, that's been the nicest thing I'd probably say on that one.
Yeah, we do something similar, and I suppose, as you said, it is about accountability. Even as simple as going for a walk. Sometimes coming home from work, the last thing you want to do is go back outside, get the 10K steps in, but the accountability makes you liable. So I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
There might be a few people on that sheet. There might be a few people on the sheet that don't tick, and they're like, "Have you done your goals this month?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm doing them. I'm doing them."
Panicking, yeah. Because you don't want to set them too easy as well. You don't want to be like really achievable goals. So everybody's like, "Oh, look at her, take an easy route out." But,
yeah. 100K steps this month, and you're sitting on 1,000. You're like, "Oh no."
Do a marathon, like, fine, okay, I'll do a marathon this month. No problem.
Chloe, and obviously coming from Own Your Space, you were obviously, I think you were there for, was it just over or just under 2.5 years or so?
Yeah. That's
you're obviously nicely settled, things were going well. Is there, whenever you started, obviously with Embryo, I know you said it's gone well, but is there a slight fear of maybe like imposter syndrome or anything like that? Was there any of that? And if there was, did you overcome any?
No, I think like having a good reputation in the industry always goes a long way. I think over the years I've built up such a good network and referral partners, and I've left on really, really good terms with all the team at Own Your Space, which is always really nice, and that will probably always remain to be sort of my extended family. But I think since joining Embryo, I think a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my referral partners and a lot of my even previous clients, they're really excited for me to sort of start my new challenge at Embryo. Which has obviously been a huge sigh of relief, because sometimes you sort of leave somewhere and you think, oh, how is this going to go? What the hell are we going to do? But yeah, no, it's been really, really exciting.
Brilliant. Perfect. And obviously, sorry, go on, Jay.
I was going to just say you were doing you were international sales manager. I came from sales myself, and I was going to ask, was there certain skills you learned within the sales industry that you were able to transfer on to your new role?
Do you know what? I don't really think, like, quite a few people have asked me this, and I think there isn't anything really I would change. I think me as a person, the way I sell isn't going to differ to sort of the way that I'll sell at Embryo and the way that I've always sold. I think selling is a completely different thing from development. Like, I think anyone could sell if you've got the mindset to do so, but I think it's the relationship that you build with somebody, because people buy from people. People don't necessarily buy from the company. But I think it always goes a long way when you work with really cool existing great clients, and you've got a proven track record. You've got brilliant case studies to sort of show to the rest of the industry, say, look, this is what we've done for these guys, and this is what we're going to do for you. Here's a strategy. We're going to get you from A to Z. We wish and we hope that we're going to make you this amount of money in the first sort of 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and this is a team that's going to do it for you. So I think it wouldn't change anything. I'm just going to continue with the same mindset, the same drive, the same ambition and goals, and hopefully continue to just make Embryo more into an incredible company.
Yeah. And Chloe, obviously your main job is obviously client communication and stuff like that. How do you maximize client retention? Obviously, I know a lot of your job is attracting new clients, but it's equally as important to keep the ones that you have as well. Do you have any tips for maybe some junior people on how to do that?
Yeah, I think it is just about building a relationship with that person, and depending on your role, some businesses work in a sense where you sell to the client, you bring them on board, and it's like, right, I'm off. I'm on the way to my next sale, and that's a good mindset. It's a savvy mindset to have, and I think I've just never really had that mindset. I've always looked after my clients, even from after I brought them on board. I'm always heavily involved with sort of like the client relations meetings from the team internally, to quarterly reviews, to like company dinners, like invitations, and taking the clients out. So I think I've always continually gone the extra mile, and doing something, whether it's sending a book or taking the client out for dinner or congratulating them on a personal event or a business event. I think it's just staying engaged. That's what I would definitely recommend. Find your niche of how you do that. Don't do what everybody else is doing. I suppose that just comes with trial and error, and I'm very grateful today. I've definitely done trial and error.
More so error as well. That's where you learn the most, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go off on a bit of a different tangent, because I seen one of the posts you made and you were asking for recommendation on networking events and like expos. So since then, have you been attending any networking events? And if so, what do you think overall, even in helping career, finding clients, just networking as an overall? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think networking is probably one of the biggest ways, and how I've managed to get to where I am today. I think meeting a variety of different people in a variety of different sectors and just building those relationships with people, again, like building relationships. But I think I've been a part of networking groups. I've been to hundreds of different expos before, and it's just having that confidence to go over and introduce yourself to somebody, and it's not scary, and people get really panicky thinking, oh, I can't really present in somebody, or say my 30 seconds in a networking event. And I think because you have to have confidence to be able to walk in a room and just own it. And I always say it's nice to introduce yourself to people and make yourself rememberable, whether you're the happiest person in that room, like, hi everyone, morning, I'm Chloe, this is what I do, this is the company that I work for. Find out a little like more about them than what you tell them about you. I think making somebody feel sort of valued and that you care and you're interested, that will really, really go a long way. And you might not be able to do business with that person right now, but that person will definitely remember you. And keep up to date with them, checking on people, and hi, how's things, how's business, can I help with anything? Or if you know somebody within a certain industry and you want to get into a client in that sort of area, and you can say, oh, do you know anybody in that business? And they're like, do you know what, Chloe? I do, I'll refer you. And that's all it is. But yeah, I do definitely recommend networking events. I love them.
Is there any tips you would have to be that most confident person in the room, or be able to go up and approach people like that and make new relationships?
I would, do you know what? It's a funny thing, because I've actually went to a networking event a couple of years ago about this, and we were saying it's basically like speed dating, isn't it? And you can go around, you can meet somebody, hi, I'm Chloe, hi, I'm Chloe, hi, I'm Chloe, and this is what I do. And you sort of have to try and sell yourself, but ask them relevant questions back. And I would, for anybody that's not confident or not sort of got the, let's say, social skills to do that, just look at them as if like they're going to be one of your friends. That's it. Find something in common with somebody. It could be the same football team. It could be anything. It could be you like the same color, or your parents live down the road from each other. By the end of it, you talk about something that's got nothing to do with business, and they go, sorry, Jay, what do you do for work? And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that. That's what I would definitely recommend, that if people do struggle with social skills, I would get to know them, not on a business level. I'd get to know them and understand them as a person. What hobbies do they like? What are their interests? What do they do in spare time? What time do you wake up in the morning for the gym? They're like, what?
Yeah, I suppose that's a good one to break the ice.
It works.
And
Say
as
from
part
like
of your
having a
role,
sales background. Sorry, 1 second,
sorry.
Doris. Say from having a sales background, would you say you sort of got confidence through that as well, having to speak to people within, like, speaking to clients within a set? And quite a lot of people don't usually do that. So I suppose going to a networking event, it was quite natural to you, creating that rapport, finding a common ground,
Yeah.
almost guiding the conversation without physically guiding the conversation.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's really funny because in my first ever sales role, a part of the role is that you had to cold call, and I am a chief, not a cold caller. I can't do it because I just start to panic. I'm like, oh, just panic on the phone. And I remember I was in sales training. And I remember making this cold call, and I worked for a commercial coffee machine company called Regio 42. And I remember being in this sales training, and they said, right, Chloe, I need you to ring this cafe and basically pitch to them to get a coffee machine demonstration. So I thought, right, can't be that hard, surely. So I remember picking up the phone, and everybody was listening, and the room was full. And I remember I had like a list of questions, and there were some of the questions were like quite sort of not very natural, like, are you a limited company? Basically, how much money have you got in your account sort of questions. And I remember that the guy answered, and I asked these questions, and he was like, yep. And I was like, so would you like a coffee machine demonstration? He went, well, I actually would like a coffee machine. Oh, I fell off the floor. Honestly, I panicked. I didn't know what to say. I was like, he's got buying signals. He said yes to everything that I've just said. And all I wanted to do was put the phone down, but I didn't, obviously. And he was my first cold call, my first ever sale. And it was by far one of the funniest but scariest moments of my life.
Thrown in the deep end.
To go from that to where I am now to pitching to like multi-million-pound companies is hilarious.
Yeah.
I started somewhere and it went well.
It started with coffee machines, and now look where it is.
I loved it. I really loved it. But yeah, it was a very funny day, that actually. But I think everyone in sales has always gone through sort of the motions of cold calling to networking to face-to-face intros, etc. And I think I credit people that cold call every single day. I think they are grafters, and it's fine. I can't do it, no way. But I think they do an incredible job because I really panicked that day, but it did go ahead.
And obviously you can see the benefit of that now. As sort of the director now, do you instill that in your team? Do you have sort of training assigned for getting more comfortable with clients, getting more comfortable with being out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, I think it's just I think we all have a different way of approaching clients. Some people will be able to work with different industries and different clients better than probably what I might do, but I might be able to help them. So Paul, who's our sales director at Embryo, he works really, really hard with the team, with the sales team that we've got now. And I think together, both of us, we've really sort of nailed down into what works, what doesn't, how to approach, and just sort of bringing that sort of even just sales processes shorter and thinking, right, well, there's always going to be a solution. What can we do to offer the client? How can we get them on board? Is there any sort of like curveballs? Do they have any concerns that we need to sort of overcome? Or is it just a case of somebody else picking up the phone going, hi, I know you've been speaking to this person. What is it we can do for you? How can we get started? We'd really want to work with you. I think it's just a different approach always goes a long way. I think some people might be able to sell one of my clients better than what I might, but I think it's just working together as a team. And I think that's what Embryo does really, really, really well.
Perfect. And I know you're looking to expand that team even further. Is there something that you really look for when you're hiring at the minute, or is it just maybe like a gut feeling?
Yeah, so I think for us, we really want to we want people to showcase their passion for their role. And I think passion has got to come down to it. I think you can recruit for the typical salespeople that have got an amazing track record and they sell and sell and sell. But if you've not got the passion and drive to want to work with such a driven and journey focused business like Embryo, we want you to come in and bring changes. We want you to bring solutions to things. We want you to come in and basically go, right, I don't really like this idea. How about this way? You can prove and make that work. Go for it. Like, we encourage it. So yeah, I think people fitting into the culture and the developing in it and bringing such a new sort of like aura to the room. Like, agency's a fun environment anyway, and everyone's so quirky and everyone's fun and it's colourful and it's bright and happy. And then a big bundle of joy who's been awake for 4 hours comes bouncing through the office in the morning going, morning everyone. Like, whoa. Where have you been? But everyone just balances off each other. So I think it's just having that sort of Yeah, that passion for your own role. You don't need to come bouncing into the office, obviously. Don't want to scare anymore. You can be really quiet if you want, that's fine too. But I think it's just having that passion for your role and wanting to do a really good job.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I suppose it goes down to energy levels as well, because as I said, someone could come bouncing in and then that could annoy someone on the team, but in 2 hours time when they wake up, they're the one that's bouncing around, the other person's asleep at their desk.
Yeah.
But it's having that fit. And I've seen one of your posts and all, and you're talking about talent, and you're in a leadership role now. Obviously, you're leading the way forward. We are releasing a playbook on leadership, so it's a big topic for us. And we're sort of wondering, do you have any foundational skills that you would require to be a leader, what you would use maybe in your day-to-day jobs, just leadership, foundational leadership skills? Is there any you can list off?
I would say one of my biggest things is communication. I think communicating with your team and being engaged with them goes a really, really long way. I think, especially within sales, I think a lot of people can be sort of like very self-sufficient, and it's all well and good just go away and just do your own thing, get sales and update me at the end of the day. But I think it's being on board with your team and helping them learn, helping them grow, and sort of having transferable skills. And there might be things that work for me but might not work for somebody else, but it's just sort of they might have things that work for them and then might work for me. So I think communication is definitely the biggest one, and being a team player. I know sales is a dog-eat-dog world sometimes, but I will always 100% back myself in saying that I would do anything to help my team and help the company sort of be the very, very best. And I'll always do whatever that takes. So I think it's just going that extra mile sort of with everything you do. And never micromanage. Ever.
Yeah, I think that's key, especially for people in your sort of sector to grow. And Chloe, I know obviously working across a few sort of agencies, have you noticed any sort of common bottlenecks in maybe the agency structure that doesn't allow you to be as successful with clients as you wish to be?
Yeah, I think I'm very grateful to say that I've never worked sort of for an agency like that, but I'm aware it is sort of something that happens within the industry, because you will find sometimes it can be really hard to sort of retain the top best talent. But I think you can offer as many perks on this planet. You can give them free fruit and you can take them away or do whatever it may be, but it's a lot more than that. People don't go to the office because they want free fruit. People want to be sort of valued when they go there, and they want to know that what they're doing is making a difference. And one of the things that Embryo offers is at the end of every year, start of every year, we do like an awards like ceremony, and we bring all the businesses, all the companies together. We'll sort of nominate each other for certain different awards, from funny to super professional awards. So I think it's just showing that recognition and sort of giving credit when credit's due. We have a lot of like group chats on Slack, and it's amazing to see people sort of giving like kudos to other people, saying, "Oh, they did a really good job today. They really helped me with this existing client that we've," and it's really nice. Credit where credit's due is always the way forward, I would say.
Perfect. And obviously growth is at the forefront of that. In terms, there's always a risk of obviously growing too fast. How do you guys sort of vet potential clients? Is there something you look for in clients? Is there sometimes you would refuse to work with certain clients for a reason, or what's the process there?
I think not wanting to work with clients for a certain reason is probably not the one, but I think for us, we want to work with ambitious companies that want to grow. As you grow, we'll grow with you. And I think we have all the tools in-house. We have an incredible team across the board that will help all of those companies drive forward. So there's nothing more refreshing than when a client goes, right, when we ask the question, like, where are you wanting to be in, say, a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, etc. And there's nothing more amazing when the client says, well, we're doing 5 million now, but in 5 years' time, we want to be doing 15 million. All the team gets really excited and says, right, what are we going to do to get this client from 5 million to 50 million in this time frame? What are we going to do? And what you get within that is we've already got a plan set out. We're going to build a strategy. We're going to get everything up and running, and we're going to get on it straight away. But that's then when the client retention comes, because we're a part of that company's growth as well. They're the ideal clients that I always love to work with, I would say.
Brilliant. Perfect. And I know we're coming up on time here, but maybe the last question is a bit of a negative thing to finish on, but do you think there's going to be any sort of any risks that digital marketing agencies might face over the next year?
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. I think COVID was one of those things where it was it destroyed quite a lot of industries, and I'm very grateful to say that it only grew digital that even more. So I think if we got over COVID, I think we can get through anything. Digital is going to be one of them things, and you can bring AI into it, which agencies should be taking advantage of, and you should be learning and growing from using AI where's required. We don't think it's going to start taking jobs. We don't think it's going to be replacing anyone's jobs. I think you can use it and develop it, and that's as simple as that, really. I think we can only grow from anything. I think if you get through COVID, you can get through anything.
Yeah, big time, definitely.
Perfect. Well, Chloe, it was a pleasure having you on the
No.
SEO Career Mastery. We enjoyed the conversation. And congrats again on the new role. I'm sure you're going to smash it.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No
Not a
problem. We'll
problem at
definitely have to
all.
get you on in 6 months' time or so to let us know how you're getting on and where the
How you're
company's
getting
at then.
on.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be really good.
Perfect. No,
Perfect.
listen, thanks so much for your
Thanks
time,
again.
Chloe. Have a great Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.